I do still run a YouTube channel, although you could be forgiven for thinking otherwise given the upload frequency over the past year. YouTube is a fantastic outlet for sharing ideas, expressing your inner creative, and finding other people of similar interest. One of the many unspoken perks of running a YouTube channel, however, is that I get numerous daily comments posted on my videos that make their way directly to my notifications, and I get to read them. That's right, I read your comments. You think that I don't? I was instructed to never ever read comments, and after the set rotation debacle, I nearly took that advice. But nope, here we are. 3 months into the year and 10 months after the upload of the video, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better in person, give it a try. That I received, hands down, the best YouTube comment I have ever gotten. A lock for comment of the year only 3 months in, and a strong candidate for the best YouTube comment of all time. Do you know how good a comment has to be to warrant a video? To drag me from my paramedic textbook and squeeze video editing between clinical rotations? We aren't talking the endless streams of people telling me that my opinion on brains is objectively dog shit. This is something special. For the many of you who haven't watched the video in question, about 10 months ago, I prepared for YCS Indianapolis and made a video encouraging players who are afraid to take the leap to in-person play to give it a try. The video addresses some of the most common criticisms of the game, players, and aims to be a reassuring voice to the newbies and a stern guiding hand to the vets. All in all, the video did well, and while I still receive frequent comments from people telling me that they're still too afraid or indignant to play in person, today I received something a little different. A player whose personal metrics for judging the quality of a local's establishment, tales of digital platform mistaken identity, and bold, commanding proclamations against trolling set a spark ablaze that rushed me to my laptop. Obviously, this commenter's name will be redacted, though he makes it very clear that any negative reaction to his comment will be ignored. Let's still be polite. The comment begins with a warning. Literally, warning. Anyone that replied to this comment just to troll about any reason, even if the reason is not this subject, will be ignore, and further penalty may be applied. Okay, get it, troll? Sitting there, turn 2 with a set skill drain, you aren't wanted here, and our boy is ready to get after that ass. Our story begins as so many others have throughout the ages. A long time ago, but not that long ago, I went in my local just to see if it was a good idea to participate in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG in my own local. And before they started, since I have no intention of playing there at that time, I did not bring my deck. I asked question about how Grave Robber works to find out if they know the rules, and most people that I ask says the wrong ruling. I did not correct them, and just left. Because if they don't know the ruling for Grave Robber, what other card that they also have the wrong ruling? That also means the judges would have also applied the wrong ruling, even their senior judge. I tried the same thing after a year, and they said the same wrong ruling for Grave Robber, meaning they still play with the wrong ruling with other card, and their judge, the same problem. Still rules incorrect ruling as correct ruling. So that is why I never started participating in IRL Yu-Gi-Oh! In local and never join a tournament. Now, believe me, I would love to make this a thing. Stir up massive dissent over the way that Grave Robber works. I would love to get Disencoder in the comments and hash this damn thing out. But I gotta be real with you, I don't get it. Grave Robber is an old normal trap card released in Pharaoh's Servant that reads, select one spell card from your opponent's graveyard. You can use it as your hand until the end of the turn. If you use it, you take 2,000 points of damage. Pretty cut and dry, right? Although the wording sounds like our commenter friend here wrote it, which might explain why it's his go-to benchmark for assessing the quality of an establishment's judges, it's hardly the worst example of Yu-Gi-Oh! Wording. Target a card in your opponent's grave, add it to your hand until the end of the turn. If you use it, you take 2 stacks. Simple as. I swear I did my due diligence and checked the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom website on this card. I read through some Reddit posts, dug under every rock and tree for an ounce of controversy, and man, I just could not find any. The mental image of this guy walking into some card shop for the first time and barraging the guy behind the counter about a card he's never heard of for a game he doesn't play, and then walking out disgusted leaves me in fits. Our boy here then goes on to lay the original sin of not knowing the elusive grave robber ruling at the feet of every judge in the establishment, extrapolating that since this employee he talked to doesn't know this ancient-ass card ruling, nobody at the function must know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Furious, our boy leaves, only to come back a year later and do the whole rigmarole again, only to be disappointed again. What a journey. What a tale. Did he find the locals that did know the magic answer in the year that passed? Or did he just go home and quiz people online about Grave Robber for 365 consecutive days? This on its own would have warranted a solid chuckle and moving on about my day. But as I'm setting my phone down, it vibrates once again. Yes, I set my phone to vibrate from YouTube comments. I am that petty and mentally unwell. And Pavlovian response is kicking in. I check it. Good Lord, it's a follow-up post that begins as follows. Warning! Anyone that reply to this comment just to troll about any reason, even if the reason is not this subject, will be ignore, and further penalty may be applied. I'm beginning to get the sense that this guy prefaces every piece of communication he sends with this intro. Birthday cards, business emails, late night you up text messages. Our boy here tolerates no trolling of any kind. Thank God this video isn't mean-spirited. Warning 2. He continues a second warning. Does his tyrannical grip know no end? Please read my previous comments since this is a following to the previous one. Oh, don't worry, dog. I did. The closest that I participated in IRL was in Dueling Network, and I even participated in the rating on Dueling Network. And notice a lot of problems back then, that a lot of people learn it wrong from their parent thing, that people tell them they are wrong. Even with proof they are wrong. Straight up ignore the proof and then still think the one is correct with the ruling is wrong. Then, when it is finally me who is wrong with the ruling, since it was most often them being wrong with the ruling, I would never believe them, even if they prove me wrong because they used a non-trusted site to prove me wrong. This could lead to people that learn the ruling wrong to be treated like a malicious troll that pretend they don't know the rules and refuse to continue playing unless you let them cheat. And that was a big problem in Unrated Match back in Dueling Network, since Judge can only ban people for doing this in rating. Now it is called Dueling Book, and in Dueling Book, I never play in rating. If you see me in rating in Dueling Book, it is a glitch, because one time in Dueling Book, I almost got banned from Dueling Book, because while playing Dueling Book, traditional unrated format, the card that I was playing was showing an advanced rated duel. And also my writing chat was showing on is advanced rated. And to prevent from getting banned, I had to track down the advanced format rated room, and since my name appeared in the watcher chat, I could clearly confirm it was a glitch. If I did not do that, I would have been falsely banned because of a glitch. Wow. I should have told you to buckle your seatbelts beforehand. Hopefully you aren't all spilled out across the floor and handrails like a game of 52-card pickup. Man, okay, I think it goes without saying that if the closest you've come to IRL play is Dueling Book, it simply isn't IRL play, and that's fine. I made a whole video that this guy apparently watched talking about how it's fine, but some things are not some things, and online play is not IRL. Secondly, good lord, I am just amazed at the level of intensity that card game rulings can provoke. Also, I gotta say, a card ruling is not the same as just resolving a game state or knowing what a card does, okay? Rulings are specific guidance to resolving interactions between cards or effects. Bro, this guy just appoints himself as arbiter of Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules and drifts from OTS store to OTS store, grilling cashiers and vending machine repairmen. I guess I don't have too much more to say on the comment, or the subject more broadly, but I swear I had to have my EMT pull over and physically regain my composure after reading this pair of comments. Also, let it be known, I'm not really making fun of the guy. Obviously, he could be younger and probably doesn't speak English as a primary language. That's totally cool. I don't speak any languages, but man, I combed that video start to finish to try and find an anchor point that could have inspired this reaction, and I swear there wasn't one. This is just something that he's been wanting to get off his chest and share with me for a long, long time. Over a year, apparently, and now I get to share it with you. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below if it tickles your fancy, but warning, anyone that replied to this video just to troll about any reason, even if the reason is not this subject, will be ignored and further penalty may be applied. Have a great day.